Hello, so in this video I'm going to create a new project using cargo, and I'm going to write some structs, some implementations and a trait. So let's get started, and we will do cargo new tube traits and then cd yt traits code, open up VS Code. Let's zoom in a bit so it finally loads. I think it's loading a load of extensions, so it's just a bit slow. It's not ideal, but there we go. So what we want to do first off is create trait, calculate area, and I'm going to leave that empty. And next I'm going to create some empty implementations, and they will link those names will link with the struct, so it will be called calculate area 4, and then it will be the name of the struct. I'm going to have one struct for a rectangle, and yeah, let's do a second one for circle. Okay, and then we will create the structs, and that will be the same name as the first implementation. Good, so that's kind of the layout. Now, if you've watched my video on Python 360, I've been learning about the feynman technique. Part of it is surrounding the idea that if you can describe something to a 6-year-old or a 12-year-old, I can't remember, but if you can describe it, then you understand it. And also the other thing is to test your recall, active recall. I think it's probably best to do the structs first. So let's go with the length of the rectangle, and I'm actually going to make these floating point, so F32, and I'll do width 32 as well. So obviously a rectangle has a length and a width, whereas a circle just has radius. I'll make it F32 as well. Good. So what do we want to actually do? We want to have a trait which we can call on either the rectangle or the circle. So up here on line 4, we want to create the function definition, and we will call it lowercase calculate area, and that's what we'll call on our instance later on. So we pass in self, and it's going to return F32. That's all you do for the trait. So now for the implementation, we want to actually do the full function. So we'll do calculate area, pass in self, ampersand self, turns F32, and then here is where we actually put the arithmetic. So we want at self dot length times at self. Wish I could type. Width. And we don't need to put any semicolon on the end because that's what we're returning. So far so good, I think. Yeah. Here we'll do calculate area. So what I'm putting on line 8 matches line 4, and also line 14 that matches as well, because the whole point is that we want a function name which we can use across different types, or different, which will come from the structs. We'll do ampersand self. I am doing all this from memory. I didn't want to put it on the webcam because it's a distraction, to be honest. But I'm doing this from memory, and it, as I say, it's part of radius time pi radius squared. So part of this is because I wanted to test my understanding and check that I've committed this to memory. So times, we'll do 3.1. Oh, sorry, 3.14 without the semicolon. Okay, so we have, let me just take away the red dots and we'll format this now as well. And it looks like it was okay. So we've got a function called calculate area. We can use it on a rectangle or a circle because we've made a trait. Next thing is to use it. So we need to create an instance of let my rectangle equal rectangle, and this is where we pass in length 12.1, width 3.2, and then what we can do is say print ln, use the print line macro, and we can pass in, I've spelt my rectangle without an L. My hands are cold, I do apologise. That's my excuse for poor typing today. We can then put my rectangle dot calculate area, and we're calling the function, not the trait name. So the trait name is calculate area. We want to call the function, which is calculate underscore area, and put that there. And I think that's ready to run. Let's test it. Go. Oh dear, we've got some errors. This is an associated function, not a method. Okay, let's go to the start and look at the errors. So, expected 1 of 9 possible tokens. So in line 4, calculate area. Ampersand set. What have I done here? I've put in a capital. Right, try again. Expected, line 14. Attention to detail. And we're reducing the errors. Line 31. Then we need the semicolon. And there we have it. So, let me just move that across to the right. So what errors did I make? It's always good to remember the errors you made, because then you can kind of learn from them. Const I or just check I've got that right. Expected type you and there we go. We've got a rectangle with its area being calculated. So 3 times 12 is 36. So that's about right for the area of the rectangle. And the area of the circle, so we've got 5 squared is 25 r squared, so it's 3 times 25 should be about 75 and a bit, and that's 78.5. So that's the outcome of creating a trait, a function called calculate area, and then we can use it whether it's for a rectangle or for a circle. So thanks for watching.